On the Fringe with Dan radio style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. The war has started big time. Oddly, officially, Iran has not declared war, at least as of right now, at 10:20 in the morning. I'm sure they will. The expectation is that attacks will come. The other concern is the attacks here in the U.S. There's a lot of people here already, a lot of cells here already. And with what's happening this weekend, the timing of this is certainly interesting. This is going to be, just a time to pay attention. I don't know. I don't want to go and speculate that Iran, the cells are going to start activating and attacking this week. They could. They could already be part of what's been mobilized. But we've got an interesting weekend coming in. We've got a lot going on. We've got a lot going on, obviously, with the war and the escalation of that. And we've got significant escalation going on with the riots. So we're going to talk on all that stuff. Got some other interesting news, some interesting stuff around elections and stuff. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to jump into it. Again, always trying to just deal with how quickly the world is moving. Something very strange was said with this Pentagon individual. Something very strange. I'll see if you guys grab it when you hear it, and if not, I'll mention it after. Check this out, though.
As young Americans across the country get to see all of the amazing things that the Army has done, whether it's helping with floods in North Carolina or wildfires in California, or we talked to an astronaut yesterday who's on the moon, who's a soldier, including actually going to war and fighting to defend the freedoms that make our nation so great. We think this is going to be an incredible opportunity for the Army to fill up our pipeline for the years to come.
Did you guys hear the Army soldier that's on the moon fighting? He's stationed on the moon fighting. Let's play that part again.
Fires in California, or we talked to an astronaut yesterday who's on the moon, who's a soldier.
An astronaut who's on the moon, who's a soldier. Don't know what the hell that is. Sounds strange, right? Who knows? Second judge blocks parts of Trump's order overhauling elections. They are saying that it's going to make it more difficult for certain citizens. Said there is no dispute, nor could there be, that U.S. citizenship is required to vote in federal elections, and the federal voter registration forms require attestation, probably a better way to say it, of citizenship. They're saying that, but certainly the difficulty in getting people to prove that they're, with their documentation. Now, obviously, we've heard over and over that it's racist to do that overwhelmingly this would keep disenfranchised black people. For some reason, they seem to think that black people are incapable of getting an ID. Don't quite understand that one at all. Now, it would make it significantly more difficult for illegal people to vote in elections. The judge obviously gets the bigger picture, but everybody pretty much has ID of some form, and anybody that doesn't, there's ample time to try to help assist them. Again, I've even suggested we could even go so far as to have actual individuals that can literally drive out to people's houses so they can prove who they are without having to force them to come in. I think most of us would support jobs like that. Now, I don't think we'd need a bunch of people doing that. I think a few in each area would be sufficient. We could get probably most everyone done in a matter of a month, 2, 3, 4, depending, right? That's doable. And if you had to put a couple extra heads on it, then so be it. But we could very easily help assist that process, especially if we start it soon enough. Now, again, a lot of these things have to be pushed out early enough because we know there's going to be fighting from the courts. But then at the same time, you don't want to push it out too early because then there's obviously ways they're going to try to work around it. And you want to minimize that as well. So a lot happening. All right, let's get into this crazy strike. It was expected to happen. I kind of thought it would happen more under the cover of the weekend, to be honest. So it hit a day early as far as I was thinking. But, I mean, yeah, it's not like I had any insight. I was just figuring it would have made more sense with all the crap that was going to be happening. Trump's going to be having that army parade, right? So it would have made sense. Whatever the case is, attacking now makes sense too. From what we understand, Iran was, they say, 2 to 3 days away from having enough fuel to make one bomb, or really likely to have one bomb. 2 to 3 days. A strong chance this is why the attack happened when it did. We also know that Trump gave them 60 days Today was day 61. Trump is not dicking around. Trump is showing and leading with a strong, strong statement. I said 60 days. You thought I meant 75 days because 60 would end and then we'd begin the bullshit to get to the wherever we finally talked, right? Wrong. I said 60 days. You walked away from the table. Day 61, boom. You are fucked. And they are. Iran got hit hard. They got hit very hard. They're very pissed. They should be. But they have lost badly. 200 Israeli jets apparently struck over 100 targets. I've kind of heard there might have been some support craft in that 200 number. But yeah, there was about 100 targets, 5 waves. There's some video of Iranians trying to take planes off, but they had no air-to-air defenses. Those were just destroyed beforehand. In fact, Israel did some very sneaky stuff where they infiltrated Iran, went way into the interior of Iran, much like what Ukraine did with those attacks on the bombers, and did exactly that. They even had a drone factory in Iran where they were manufacturing drones that they used, and they popped these drones out right by air defense systems. They had no chance to defend themselves. They were destroyed. So before the attack even happened, which I'm sure Iran was expecting missiles to come in, to take out the defenses, to soften things up so the air could come in. But yeah, leave it to Israel to do something unique. And they did exactly that. They infiltrated Iran. They blew up a lot of these defenses before the fight even started, before possibly Iran even knew what was up. And it was extraordinarily successful. They have absolutely air superiority over Iran right now. That blows my mind, or at least large parts of it. Air superiority over Iran. Iran has the S-400 missile system that they've gotten from Russia. It's a very capable system, except when it gets shut down. A whole bunch of people killed. We're going to get into the individuals who were nuked in this particular, well, nuked is the wrong way to say it, but were smoked, or now worm dirt, or worm food. Trump is going to hold meetings on Israel-Iran crisis in the Situation Room. He's not really said anything publicly yet. That meeting started. It was not open to the public or press, so no one really knows what the hell, but they're obviously talking about it, and that's expected. I mean, that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Now, Donald Trump had these couple truths that he put out. He said, I gave Iran chance after chance to make a deal. I told them, in the strongest of words, to just do it. But no matter how hard they tried, no matter how close they got, they just couldn't get it done. I told them it would be much worse than anything they anticipated, or were told, that the United States makes the best and most lethal military equipment anywhere in the world, by far, and that Israel has a lot of it, and with much more to come. And they know how to use it. Certain Iranian handlers spoke bravely, but they didn't know what was about to happen. They are all dead now, and it will only get worse. There has already been great death and destruction, but there is still time to make this slaughter, with the next already planned attacks being even more brutal, come to an end. Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left, and save what was once known as the Iranian Empire. No more deaths, no more destruction, just do it before it's too late. God bless you all. And as Donald Trump truthed, 2 months ago, I gave Iran a 60-day ultimatum to make a deal. They should have done it. Today is day 61. I told them what to do, and they just couldn't get there. Now they have, perhaps, a second chance. Trump's telling them straight up, we're going to come at you even harder on the next attack. Many people are saying that the Ayatollah is likely one of the targets that they will push towards or take out, which would be helpful. President's the other one. And I would assume that the leadership of this country is their targets. They better be in bunkers right now because, well, one, nobody's seen the Ayatollah yet. Very well could have been one of the people they tried to smoke early on. They took out a bunch of their top generals. In fact, they tricked them. Israel shut down global embassies, of course, fearing that attacks and backlash and all that stuff's going to happen. As far as some of the attacks, some of the damage, there are some images that we've got here of the destruction. It's just a big, big attack. They actually took out that nuclear site. That was one of the targets. I'm not sure if there's supposedly possibly another one. I don't know if that's it, but the Natanz nuclear site was targeted and hit. Israel, they hit, let's see, who did we get? The state media, multiple military sites targeted. Heavy water reactor facility was targeted in Iraq, I guess, or Iraq. Israeli launched another wave of attacks in Iran that we heard. So again, smoke rising above the IRGC headquarters in Tehran. They literally hit the headquarters. Like, that's pretty gnarly. More destruction, apartment buildings. They hit all sorts of stuff. Reports also of attacks in western Iran. Price of oil went up a bunch because this is expected to affect that. Major General Hossein Salami, Chief Commander of Iran's, or Salami? Yeah, I don't know how they say it. Chief Commander of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard. He said, our next confrontation with the Israelis will be far more crushing, devastating, and destructive. Yeah, he's dead now. This dude's toast. He's bad toast. I don't know. I guess I'll play this 7 minutes. I don't know. I'll play it a little faster at least. I'll try to anyway. We'll see if we can. But this is Benjamin Netanyahu's statement after the attack. That's 7 minutes, but it's probably important to listen to. So we are going to play it. Let me, like I said, try to speed it up a teeny bit. Make it, 5.5 minutes or so. Here's Netanyahu.
Ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival. This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat. For decades, the tyrants of Tehran have brazenly, openly called for Israel's destruction. They've backed up their genocidal rhetoric with a program to develop nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. In recent months, Iran has taken steps that it has never taken before, steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, less than a year. This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were the victims of a Holocaust perpetrated by the Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear Holocaust perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime Minister, I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives and threatens the lives of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000 of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine 10,000 tons of TNT landing on a country the size of New Jersey. This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped. Iran is now working on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel. You see, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies tried to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th. But the people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, rose like lions to defend our country. We crushed Hamas, we devastated Hezbollah, we hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year, we struck back inside Iran itself. Yet in defending ourselves, we also defend others. We defend our Arab neighbors. They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and carnage. Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too do the brave people of Iran, and I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near. And when that happens, the great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again. I want to assure the civilized world, we will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons. And Iran plans to give those weapons, nuclear weapons, to its terrorist proxies. That would make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all too real. The increasing range of Iran's ballistic missiles would bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America. Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. And this is why for decades, it's led millions in the chance of death to Israel and death to America. Today, Israel is responding to those genocidal calls with action and with a call of our own. Long live Israel and long live America. Our action will help make the world a much safer place. I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in confronting Iran's nuclear weapons program. He has made clear time and again that Iran cannot have a nuclear enrichment program. Today, it is clear that Iran is just buying for time. It refuses to agree to this basic requirement of peaceful nations. That is why we have no choice but to act, and act now. The hardest decision any leader has to make is to thwart a danger before it is fully materialized. Nearly a century ago, facing the Nazis, a generation of leaders failed to act in time. They were paralyzed by the horrors of World War I. They were determined to avoid war at all costs, and they got the worst war ever. They adopted a policy of appeasement. They closed their eyes and ears to all the warning signs. That failure to act resulted in World War II, the deadliest war in history. It claimed the lives of 60 million, including 6 million Jews, a third of my people. After that war, the Jewish people and the Jewish state vowed, never again. Well, never again is now. Today, Israel has shown that we have learned the lessons of history. When enemies vow to destroy you, believe them. When enemies build weapons of mass death, stop them. As the Bible teaches us, when someone comes to kill you, rise and act first. This is exactly what Israel has done today. We have risen like lions to defend ourselves. Over 3,000 years ago, Moses gave the people of Israel a message that has steeled their resolve ever since. Be strong and courageous, he said. Today, our strong and courageous soldiers and people stand together to defend ourselves against those who seek our destruction. And by defending ourselves, we defend many others, and we roll back a murderous tyranny. Generations from now, history will record that our generation stood its ground, acted in time, and secured our common future. May God bless Israel. May God bless the forces of civilization everywhere. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not happy that we're at war. This bothers me tremendously. I wish that this planet could figure out how to stop killing each other. Hopefully this is part of that. I do believe that's the case. How we get there and what has to happen in order to get there is the part that I'm not scared of. I will say I'm sorrow for. I feel sorrow for, because I realize there will be sacrifices, there will be destruction, and this is only meant to help people wake, to help people see that there's got to be a better way. And getting people to give up this concept of, well, it's human nature. No, it's not. I will fight that. I will die on that hill. It is not human nature to kill. That is not human nature. Now, I know humans do it, but so do many other animals. No, it's actually evil in the case of humans. We're smart enough to know better. It's not an issue of we just don't know any better, like an animal, like a bear. A bear's hungry, he's going to eat you. That's just how it works. He doesn't think anything of it, doesn't have any personal thoughts about you. He's not actually going to enjoy it even more because you happen to be a certain colored individual or whatever. I mean, maybe you'll taste better because of the food you eat. Who knows? But we're at a place where evil is being eradicated. The leadership inside Iran is evil. The leadership inside our country was super evil. I think has been reduced in its scope of evil, but I still think we've got lots of evil in Congress. I don't know why Graham sticks out in a moment. He had a stupid post about this. He's like, game on. Like the dude's just stoked that we're blowing up Iran. That guy's just a dick. Publicly, he's a dick. I know he likes war. I know that's his whole thing. That dude's probably never going to have my support in any way, shape, or form, and I look forward to him losing his next election. I will play a huge role in taking you down, Graham. You're a pile of trash. You are an evil person. Or you pretend to be good You're still evil. I don't care. You're all into killing people. It just bugs the shit out of me. This is interesting. This is a building. I think this is the building. This isn't. This is just an apartment building where some very famous or important people were living. There is actually a building where they had the military, the head of the military, like the leaders of the different armed forces. Literally, Israel tricked them into having a meeting. We're going to get there in a sec. There's some pictures. But it tricked them into having a meeting. They did some things, and they knew where they'd go. They knew they were all in the proximity, so they'd end up in a particular location. They knew how long they could keep them there based off of things. And that's exactly what they did. And then they hit that building, that location, that floor, while all those guys were in there. Israel literally tricked all of the commanders into being attacked. Not very good commanders, are they? They shouldn't have all been in the same location just for many reasons. Why they don't fly in the same flights. Iran vows to continue nuclear activities amid the threat of more Israeli airstrikes. This is funny. You guys won't be able to. You have no air-to-air defenses right now. And we literally, you're going to be just devastated. I pray that few Iranian people lose their lives. This is going to be not cool. But we've also got a country that has willingly admitted that they'll use these weapons, give these weapons to people that are nuts that will use them. We'll make it. You go use it. How about that? You go blow yourself up, and we'll just be like, I don't know what. I didn't think they'd do that. Yeah, Iran's in a tough place. White House fears Iranian response to attack could overwhelm Israel's air defenses. Very true possibility. So far, what we know, or what we understand, is that the first response from Iran was about 100 drones. Apparently some missiles, though I hadn't seen that written anywhere, but I saw pictures that were showing them launching. So it would make you think that at least a few of those were launched. Supposedly, these drones were taken down, 100 plus drones. Different, I think, over Syria as well as, over, I think, Yemen, too? I don't know if my geography is correct on that. I'm trying to go off memory of the stories, but they were basically opened up their airspace so Israel could attack them. I mean, maybe we were helping, too. I think we were trying to, quote-unquote, stay out of it. So, yeah, they're not going to continue moving forward. Now, Iran to retaliate against Israel in the near future, obviously, that's the plan. They have to. They've said they will. But the attack killed several senior Iranian officials, including Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps commander Hossein Salami. I kind of want to call him Salah. What's the other? All these guys have salami and pepperoni and whatever the hell their names are. We got Deputy Chief of the Army General Staff Gholam Ali Rashid. We got Iran's top Air Force commanders were also reportedly decimated when they were hit. I think we've got some more updated slides that show some other names. They also got 6 high-profile nuclear scientists were also reportedly killed in the attack. They hit that Natanz site hard. In fact, we got a radiation leak. Internally, they say, I don't know if I believe them. I don't think they'd necessarily tell us if it's external or not, but Khomeini's senior advisor, the way I'm supposed to say it, Khomeini, his senior advisor and right-hand man, Ali Shamkhani, and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, I don't care. Apologize to my Persian friends that probably aren't listening to me anyway. Ali Shamkhani, he was eliminated in the Israeli strikes on Iran. So this dude was taken down. Khomeini's right-hand man. They do kind of pronounce stuff like that. There was like a food. I had my lab partner. I think I've told the story before. His name was, I don't want to give his last name, but he is Persian. He's where I learned how to say "you farted" in Farsi, which is one of the funnest things to say to Persian people. I love saying it. Aaron, I'll tell you the word too. You guys can remember it. It's a lot of fun though, because they'll trip. And they're like, "Do you know what that means?" And I go, "Yep, I know exactly what it means." My buddy's dad, it was his license plate, and it said Guzidi. Now, many people wouldn't know what that is. He obviously got it past the license plate police, if you will, because they didn't know what it meant. But what it means is you farted. Yeah, you farted. Like accusatory, like you farted. Guzidi. So they put that on his license plate. Very funny. So there you go. You've got an awesome word in Farsi that you can throw around whenever you feel like just tripping out someone. But yeah, his mom made me something to try one time, and it was called hormazazi. And it was like just learning how to say it was tricky. So yeah, again, it was delicious though. It's very delicious. It was very much of the area, but delicious. It was very, and again, I like that kind of stuff. I like, as long as it doesn't have weird shit in it, like, like rat meat or something weird like that. And like, no, I'm not saying Iranians or Persians eat rat. I'm just saying, I'll try stuff just as long as it doesn't have weird shit in it. You can season it weird, whatever. So yeah, 100 drones launched. We talked about that. Fake meeting. Yeah, so fake meeting, secret drones, smuggled missiles. Israel did a sweet little move on this. Their spies smuggled missiles and secretly hid explosive drones deep inside of Iran in a series of covert operations leading up to Friday's attack, much like what Ukraine did. Pretty impressive. Intelligence assets with Mossad, Israel's top spy agency, a.k.a. Epstein. They started infiltrating the heart of Iran several months back in order to pull this surprise attack off, aimed at obliterating Iranian nuclear and military facilities. Again, everything everybody expected was, because we already did the test, Israel was able to attack Iran months back, 6-7 months back probably. They hit them with a missile. It actually hit their air defenses. That was their attack for the, I think they had a massive onslaught against Iran. Almost everything was shot down, so they had to do a response. And they literally, and everyone talked about the hit in the nuclear site at Natanz, and everyone thought they were going to. And what they did is they blew up one of the missile batteries, the radar, or something to that effect. It was one of the things that was defending Natanz. They hit that just once, one missile, that's all, just to say, we can hit you if we want. Well, oddly, they didn't come at it that way. Israel's brilliant. They were the first country ever to put spy equipment on commercial airlines. So they'd fly commercial airlines over and spy over whoever they were flying over. That was how they had a plane shot down. I want to say it was back in the 70s. They were the first ones doing that. They literally were spying. The people shot down the plane because they were spying. I think they killed some real people, though, too. Again, they all like to hide civilians or hide behind civilians, and that's what Israel was doing too. They're guilty of the same type of stuff. I'm not trying to say that I've got this unique respect for them versus other people. I think everybody's smart when it comes to trying to figure out how to kill somebody. I wish we'd get smarter with how to make the world a better place or be nice to our neighbors, whatever. Airstrikes by Israel on Thursday, the first wave of Operation Rising Lion, hit the capital of Tehran and numerous key locations where a lot of their nuclear stuff was. I think a lot of this, Natanz over here, okay. Yeah, Tehran's way up there. Isfahan, Iraq, and Kermanshah? Not sure. They hit hard, though. This is supposedly the Natanz site, I think, right here. Yeah, the Iran's nuclear facility. So a lot of underground stuff here. I don't know. They seem to have hit some bunkers. I mean, they hit this building. They blew the hell out of some of these buildings. I don't know if they managed to get any bunker busters down. I don't know where I want to say, I remember seeing a picture of this. In this circle, I feel like the reactor's kind of like in this area. I might be sort of a little, I swear I saw a picture not long ago, and I remembered the circle thing, and it was not like right over it, which I thought was weird, but then it made sense because it's just a driveway. Whatever. Yeah, big time boom. So this is only going to piss off more and more people, obviously. Here's, I think, some of the attacks happening.
کجا بود؟
Wow, that's just so much, just in this one spot too. Damn. Yeah, here's I think more of the attack. I feel like one of these shows one of the strikes hitting. Oh, okay, there's no volume on this one, but that's the Natanz site. And it's on fire. They're saying, "Oh, there's no radiation leaking outside." I don't know if I believe that. They're saying that. I get that. I get they want us to believe that. The Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, they say there is a radioactive leak detected inside the Natanz nuclear facility. It's kind of funny. I love seeing this stuff now. I don't know what it is. Since I started reading that book that I can't shut up about. I've been trying to be a lot more chill on it, though I know it's, it's kind of, I want to say I know it's kind of offensive to some, and I don't mean to be. It's just I'm very curious and inquisitive, and this is how I've always been, and this is how I've learned a lot of the crazy shit I've learned. Is by reading stuff that most people don't want to read. But it is fun seeing the Hebrew. Like, I'm like so recognized Hebrew now. I don't read it, but it's very cool. And the Keys of Enoch, the book of knowledge that I have, that's really cool. And it's not the Gospel of Enoch, very different book. This one's, it's really hard to find. I actually have it linked in my description. I think the last version I saw was like for $125. It's a hardback. It's incredible. I actually had to buy it a second time, but I bought it, I don't know, 8 years ago, a second time. First time I bought it, I let someone borrow it, and then they took it, which really pissed me off. But it had a whole bunch of these Hebrew, what they called fire letters, but it was the original, like, kind of letters, and it was really meant to sort of imbue that onto the subconscious. Just fascinating book. It's something I read multiple times throughout my life. Again, Law of One's kind of like that. I just did that show yesterday, but I've read that multiple times. I'm reading it again after reading all this more Mario Biglino stuff, and it's just it's taken on a whole new meaning. So it's just a trip. I don't know. All of this seems to be coming to full circle for me. Trump is hailing Israel's Iran strikes as excellent. He's like, I hope Iran wants to come back to the table and talk. Now, they canceled the meeting that was supposed to happen on Sunday, which is funny, and that's where a lot of people are like, this is weird. Like, you were going to have a meeting with them on Sunday to try to talk about peace. And again, Trump said, I'll give you 60 days. And that meeting was, 64 days? And so, of course, Iran thought they could wait the extra few days. Nope. You want to come to the table? And they're saying right now, nope. All right. Cool. Next set of strikes are going to be even worse. And eventually, you guys are going to lose. There's just no way around it. There's no way around it. Iran is pulling out of the nuclear talk. I already told you that. We have a senior former CIA director, Mike Pompeo, who's not involved in Trump's organization at all, is he? Is he? No. Why does he look so skinny, too? I feel like he's been through cancer or something. The dude lost, I'm going to say 100 pounds, probably. I don't know. He lost a crap ton of weight. And it's been like that he's been skinny for a few years now, but it still trips me out. He looks so weird. All said. Here's a former CIA director, talking about what his thoughts are.
Careful who you are around in terms of large events, Jewish events. I mean, this sounds like we've gone backwards decades in terms of the threat on Jewish lives. But that's exactly what this is also about.
Harris, I actually think it's just the converse of that. I do agree this could be a very high tension, stressful, and indeed there may be an event somewhere in the world. It's not just the missiles or drones they'll fly to Israel, but the Iranian IRGC, the very leadership the Israelis destroyed last night, has been working in nearly every country around the world, including the United States of America, to plant little terror cells all across the world. Hezbollah was doing the same. So this will be a very difficult period. But in the end, this was not a reckless attack, but indeed what they did was decent and just and righteous, and will reduce risk to the Jewish diaspora around the world. And for Israel and for the United States of America, a really good set of outcomes are in the offing. So long as Israel is prepared to finish the task, and as long as the world unites to provide continued deterrence and defense to prevent Iran from conducting all kinds of attacks. I think of cyber threats that will probably be projected around the world too. Iranians have a great cyber program. So lots of vectors for them to respond. We all need to be alert and responsive and do everything we can to deter them from coming after any American anywhere in any field.
Again, the big talk, the Israel. So I think the Q posts confuse a lot of us. Leave Israel for last, right? So I don't know. I don't know how this plays out. I mean, again, I don't trust Netanyahu, but I can see stuff is playing out kind of the way we want. We seem to have Trump sort of supporting it, but I think publicly he's got to say all sorts of things. Again, how this plays out exactly, I don't know. I haven't actually seen the movie. I just have an idea how it ends. That's all. That's kind of the problem. The movie I'm enjoying. Here's Mr. General Flynn talking about what he thinks this is all leading up to and how it could play out.
Very briefly, this war is going to go on in the Middle East for at least another 2 weeks. You're going to see a level of devastation that we have not seen probably historically in many people's lives, probably since World War II. And this is regime change time. The Israelis are done, and I don't blame them. We need a benevolent leader inside of Iran to rise up. We don't need somebody flying in from Paris who's been making billions off the backs of other people. We need somebody from inside the regime, and we need the CIA the hell out of there.
Right. And what do you see? I mean, you know the region better than anyone. What's the probability of those events occurring, getting a better secular leader who's not at war with us?
Yeah, I think it's very high, actually. I think that there's some people that are identified. It is the most important thing is, at what point in time does Israel make the decision? And they are hunting right now. They are definitely, the guys on the ground are hunting for the leadership they've devastated the leadership, just like they did devastating the leadership of Hamas, Hezbollah. They're devastating the leadership of Iran right now, the military, the IRGC, the political leadership. And, we haven't heard about the Ayatollah yet. I guarantee he's in hiding. His life is at risk, and that's fine. I do think that the Israelis need whatever capabilities they need, because this thing is going to go on. My belief is for another couple of weeks. They are not done with the level of destruction of the nuclear capability. We have to face the fact that since really the Obama regime, Iran, the leading state sponsor of terrorism in the world, has been developing a nuclear weapon, and they've had years to develop it. Their level of enrichment of uranium is at a level that they were ready to come out with bombs here, in the next couple of weeks, if not days.
Now, we supposedly have bunker busters that can reach the depths, they say, to where these nuclear the centrifuges are. Or whatever they've got down there. But I know the centrifuges are a big part of the process. If we do have something like rods from gods, if that technology does in fact exist and literally is in fact either A, floating in space, which would be kind of crazy to me, but it would work, or B, something that we could drop like a Moab out of the back of something, that would be significant. Tungsten rod traveling at huge speed could penetrate all sorts of distance down, right? So I don't know. Again, I'd be very curious to see how this site is dealt with. And what do we see? What do we see from the outside is going to be also an interesting question. So again, we'll get answers probably to those, I think, possibly within the next 2 weeks based off of what General Flynn's saying. New York PD says it's increasing security at the Israeli and Jewish sites because they are in expectations that they're going to be attacked more, which would make sense. Healthy choices, healthy thoughts, healthy living. A lot of people, when they try to manifest health in their lives, they frequently try to say, I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be sick anymore. I want to, and so they don't know how to focus on the positive. This is just one of the biggest hard things about manifestation in general, right? Trying to get people to focus on what they actually want rather than what they don't want. See, what you don't want's not all that helpful. What you do want's super helpful. It's very specific. You're like, I'd like to experience this. And then the universe is like, very cool. Let's bring that. But when you say, I don't want to experience this, it's like, all right, but there's a whole lot of other possibilities that we could just throw at you. And technically, any of those would be okay based off of what you're saying, right? Be specific about what you want. So healthy thinking, healthy thoughts, healthy people, they do things to keep themselves healthy. Yeah, they eat better diets typically, right? And they think about what they're going to eat, and they usually dinner's a bit more of a creation. You can also really get into prayer. Prayer before meals is actually not just so you can talk to God and make that groovy, but in a lot of cases, so you can actually imbue your food with positive energy. That's a way you can undo some of the crap in food, and it's a great way to make food even better, especially water. Water holds energy very, very well. So all of these things are opportunities to think about healthier living. Well, Healthy Home's the same way. Stem active, stem cells, they're your healing cells in your body. They're the ones that can become anything. This actually enhances your body's ability to make stem cells. It doesn't put stem cells in you. It enhances your ability to make them yourself. It ups it by 25 to 40, 50%. I mean, it's just boom, right out of the gate. I want to say it's 25 to 40 is I feel like that's the number. It's been a while since I've looked at the doc, but they up your number significantly. That's your healing. I had an issue with a dislocated shoulder. Happened when I was younger, but I was having pain when I was working out. It went away about, 20, 25 days in. I was just realized, oh my God, I'm not hurting anymore. Girlfriend she had a calcification in her shoulder. It's still a little sore. She's stopped doing it. We'll get into it. She's going to get back into it. I've talked her into it, but she's about to go on a trip. She's more worried about her hair right now. It's just the thing. So she's jacking on the collagen. She's double dosing the collagens. She's doing one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And the woman's just stoked. So I'm not, they always say pick your battles. I don't even like fighting. So it's not worth it to me. It's all right, you don't want to do it. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm not going to argue with you. Balance is another good one. Where maybe you're having them hot flashes, right? Maybe you're having this hard time sleeping. Your moods are all over the place, right? You're getting grumpy when you shouldn't and don't understand why. Balance is this really powerful product that many women out there are just raving about. It is a transdermal lotion, so it's extraordinarily easy. You just put a little bit on the one on your wrist, right here, and then you just rub your wrists together and do that for 10, 15 seconds or whatever. And bada bing, bada boom, you're good. You're golden. And they're talking about sleeping better. They're talking how their relationships are better. Just anybody going through those changes, this helps. It's plant-based. It's not putting hormones in you. Hormone replacement therapy or hormone therapy can be very dangerous. This is trying to help your body from the inside handle its own issues from the inside. And they're very good about it at Healthy Home. Yeah, Amaze is that collagen peptide I was telling you about. The girlfriend's on a double dose of this. So she's doing friggin' 60 of these a month. She's a little rock star, I'll tell you that much, man. But clean living. If you got sagging skin, sore muscles, joint discomfort, lifeless hair, she's doing it for the hair and nails, whatever. She's about to go back home. She wants everybody to see how beautiful she is. You ladies understand this, of course. Us dudes, I look horrible, and I'm lucky if I shower. I'm not that bad, but for the most part, I am. I walk around like this all the time. That's why I chose this for an image. I'm like, what can I do every single day of my life and not have problems? Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Prime is one of my favorites. It's just almost instant energy. Within minutes, you feel more energetic. A lot of it has to do with what this nitric oxide booster does. It just kind of expands your blood vessels, so more blood flow happens. So therefore, more oxygen gets delivered, more carbon dioxide is removed. It just helps. It helps also when it comes to recovery from working out. I take it before I go to the gym, usually, if I remember. But it is incredible. Also, Stem Active for pets. This is a very good one for your pets. Your pet's going through surgery. It's got maybe hip dysplasia, maybe arthritis, some of those things that happen as pets get older. Maybe they got some weird skin issues, right? You'd be surprised how much of that can actually be fixed just by having a little extra help with your stem cells when you're the pet. That's significantly less expensive than what you would pay for the human version of it too, by the way. So it is a very, very good product for both the pet and for us. Highly recommend it. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Try to get the subscribe, too, when you do it, because I think it kicks you down like an extra 5% off or whatever. And I have talked about joining. There's a few ways to do it, but you can just join as a customer. I think you ask for the smallest amount of information. Easiest, but you're paying the highest price. Just literally, that's what's going to happen. You're helping me out, and I appreciate that. I think that's where some of the extra price goes, frankly, is the commission that gets paid back to me. But if you become an executive member, which I recommend over membership, is because I think it's the same amount of data that you got to pass, but this has a fee. It doesn't require a purchase up front, but it requires a monthly fee. This one just requires a purchase. You're already going to buy something anyway. That's why you came here. If you want one stem active, they've got one stem active. They've also got some package deals. They've got stuff in there where you get like a cool perk or freebie, like free shipping forever. So executive membership is really the way to go. You get the best pricing. Period. I'm not getting the piece like I do over here. But you're getting that piece delivered to you. That's what's awesome. So this is one of the best ways to take advantage of this healthy living. If you're going to be doing this for a while, like myself, this is the way you want to go. You actually get a link like I have, danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. You'll get something like that. It'll say your own company name or whatever. And it's for a lot of you guys that are creators out there, this allows you to be able to offer up this product to your audience. And then you can be the one that gets the commission from the customer. See how that works? I'm trying to build as many people that are successful as I possibly can, and it's a product that's amazing. So I'm very much, very stoked with my experience with this product, the way it makes me feel, and how it has helped my overall health. So it has been, I think, the better way to go, without a doubt. It's one of my favorite products that I'm currently talking about. In fact, to a detriment, I guess, maybe, but all said. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Make those healthy decisions, healthy choices, and healthy living. That's what happens. That's what happens, big people. All right, what do we got here? This is, so a lot of people are supposedly getting offered money to be a part of these riots that are happening. We're going to get into some of that right now. Here's one individual. There's a bunch of people like this. So just make of it as you will.
I was tricked into being an active participant in this peaceful protest, aka race riots that are going on in Los Angeles. And I know I'm going to get in trouble because talking about it is against the contract I signed, which should have been the first red flag, but I got to tell my side of the story. So my brother's lived in Los Angeles for the past 3 years, and I was down there for about a week visiting. Well, around night 5 or 6, he told me that he's going to go do something tomorrow and he's going to make some money. So I inquired, well, what do you got to do? I want to make some money too. So he's like, yeah, bro, you can come with me. And I don't know all the details about what we're going to be doing yet, but I'm getting paid $150 a day to essentially protest something in a peaceful manner that is protected by the Constitution. I said, bet, I'm coming. So morning time rolls around, we get ready and we go. We pull up to the address. Now the address is like a warehouse. I'm like, whoa, bro, I did not sign up to work a factory job. He goes, I promise, this is not that. Just come inside. So as soon as you enter the doors of this place, you are now in a line. And at the end of the line, there's a desk and there's a piece of paper and a pen and a guy standing at this desk. And I'm noticing, I'm peeking ahead in line and I'm noticing that he's having guys sign things and then he's handing them an envelope. I said, great, that must be the money. So after I signed the papers and I grabbed the envelope, I now entered into the next dimension of the warehouse. Now the next dimension of the warehouse, it looked like preparation for a peaceful protest. I mean, there's sunscreen, there's water bottles, but if you do a little further inspection, you realize that this is going to be anything but peaceful. So I look a little further, past the water, past the sunscreen, and I see something that resembles rudimentary explosive making. And I nudge my brother, I'm like, bro, look at this. He goes, oh, chill, don't worry about that, come on. So then we head to the back door where everyone was exiting out of. And now they're handing everybody a Mexican flag as they exit this building. I grab it, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I'm a Republican, but I definitely can't tell them that now. Like, I'm committed to the bit. And after that, the rest is history. You've seen what happened all over the news. I'm just glad I made it out okay.
This is happening all over. Now, again, what's funny is they're intentionally doing the Mexican flag because they're trying to inspire the color revolution from their side of the fence. I think because, like the reference was going back in the day, the Hunt for Red October, how Trump turned the submarine around towards the torpedo. Torpedo didn't have time to arm. Torpedo hit the hull and broke apart. In reality, you think it would probably do damage, I would think, but whatever, right? That's kind of what Trump did with this whole movement. This movement wasn't hoping to have to go until a little later, or at least there was a lot of preparation they were hoping to be able to do that Trump effed up. His first term, he effed up a lot of stuff, turned things backwards, took away some stuff, and then now again already on his second term, not only has he completely stopped and halted everything, but now he's literally on the attack. So we are in a different phase of this. Now, the deep state is doing what the deep state does. The progressive left communist people are doing what the progressive left communist people do. They follow a very standard playbook. They don't seem that able to change on the fly, nearly as much as we are. And I think even a lot of us content creators are even surprising me with how quickly we're able to kind of stay ahead of what's happening. It's cool. We were way more prepared than I realized. I've just been pleasantly surprised in many ways. Like, this has not gone as bad as it was supposed to. We have already made major changes in the big picture. Still a long ways to go, but the ripples you guys make are making such a huge difference in the big picture. I can't even, like, it's awesome. It's freaking awesome what we have accomplished. And we're only going to get better, and we're only going to get stronger. U.S. House voted 224 to 194 to repeal Washington, D.C.'s sanctuary city policies. Even 11 Democrats actually jumped on board with this one. That's pretty cool. Far-left brigade of pro-communist Cuba activists. This is who Karen Bass used to be linked up with. She was a key member of this years ago, and she's currently embedded in the Chinese Communist Party-linked financial network that is behind the Los Angeles protests, some of which have turned violent in the city where she is now mayor. Decades ago, Bass was a member of and was repeatedly identified as a leader in the Venceremos Brigade, the VB, a far-left activist group sympathetic to the communist revolution in Cuba, and which U.S. intelligence and law enforcement agencies, as well as Cuban defectors, have identified as being co-opted by Cuban intelligence services. The VB was also linked to violent groups such as the Weather Underground. Nowadays, the VB is fiscally sponsored by a Manhattan-based communist organization known as the People's Forum, which is part of a wealthy Marxist businessman Neville Singham's broad financial network. The VB is also tied to other Singham-linked endeavors such as the far-left Breakthrough News, as well as the Radical Revolutionary Party for Socialism and Liberation, the PSL. The Marxist PSL has also been a key organizer of the protests in Los Angeles and elsewhere, which have sought to oppose the efforts by U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement officials to track down illegal immigration. The VB's website says that it is entirely volunteer-run grassroots organization, and we need the support of our friends, our comrades, and supporters to continue this critical anti-imperialistic work, and that the People's Forum, a 501c3 nonprofit, is the Venceremos Brigade's fiscal sponsor. The Brigade's website talks about 50 years, approximately 10,000 people from the U.S. have traveled to Cuba with the VB, including elected officials, labor leaders, artists, entertainers, right? This whole building that happened. David Atlee Phillips, the chief of the Latin American division of the CIA until 1975, penned an article in 1982 where he assessed that the Communist Cuba's Intelligence Directorate, Dirección General de Inteligencia, or DGI, much easier, had a strong level of control over this group. So CIA was involved with this group, who the mayor, Karen Bass, was very heavily involved. And many have suggested that Karen Bass, quite possibly, has ties to the CIA that might even be more direct than we realize, and a big part of why some of the crazy stuff that we're actually seeing play out in Los Angeles is happening. Now, again, Trump screwed that up. By him not allowing them to allow federal forces to be attacked for multiple days on end, because it would have spread to other cities quickly. But by bringing in the National Guard and taking control of them and taking away Newsom's abilities to sideline things and allow it to continue, it screwed everything up. And so, of course, they're freaking out about, oh, we're trying to get control back. Trump's such a dictator. It's like, dude, you were letting your city burn, and you're more worried about fighting to get control of the National Guard. So what? So you can send them home and let the fires continue? And I actually think that's what's going to need to happen, as much as I hate to say it. Trump is possibly going to lose this case. I know so far he's got until next week, and we'll get there. And he should be the commander-in-chief. I'm just waiting to see. This might have to get to the Supreme Court, so maybe the next step of this appellate court decides that more irreparable harm is being done by Trump being there than Trump not being there. And I think that's possible. And if that happens, Trump will probably, all right, they're yours. And they'll probably pull back the Marines, of course. And then what will happen is Gavin Newsom will send them home. And then the rioting will get worse. And what's going to happen then? Trump will obviously send them back in. The courts won't have anything to say because more harm's now being done by doing nothing about it. Hopefully we don't have to get to that point. But that is one of the probable futures right now. A likely future. Appeals court blocks order that would return control of National Guard to Newsom. So far it's being blocked. We'll see. Of course, he's all pissed off about it. First he got it, then it was overturned. So, yeah, he already immediately went out and was like, the Guard's going to be back under my command. Fuck you, Donald Trump. And then immediately the appeals court's like, nah, we're going to give you till next week. So Trump is still commander-in-chief. Again, it's all going to be about where the irreparable harm will lie. Now, can they prove that because Trump's there, that's why everything's so bad? And if that is the proof they do, and the second Trump backs away and things get worse, their lies will be shown. That will be more damaging than anything else they could probably do. So unfortunately, LA might have to burn. San Francisco might have to burn. Many other cities. We'll see what happens this Saturday. Obviously, Trump's in charge with the National Guard until through this weekend, which is excellent. And that might be enough to stop this. Again, that might be enough to stop what the deep state's trying to do, trying to get some momentum going into summer. Summer love. But Trump's actually going to probably squash a lot of that before it has a chance to get too terribly out of control. Oversight Committee is launching an investigation into the LA officials' riot response, why it took so long, why they let the ICE agency sit there for 2 hours before anybody did anything. And that's certainly enough. Like, for anybody to, they had to prepare a response. Dude, people were being attacked. And you're allowing more and more people to show up by waiting. So, no, there should have been a response and then an additional wave of responses. They didn't do that. They should have had resources in the air so they could see what was up. They didn't do that necessarily. Well, they might have had resources in the air. Who knows? Anti-ICE propaganda is being spread by coordinated influencers, and they're all saying the same thing as being undocumented is like jaywalking. No, it's not. Jaywalking is like jaywalking. It's a stupid crime, and I get it. Like, sometimes people get hit by cars because they're stupid and they jaywalk, so cops write tickets probably in places where people have gotten hit and killed. Everyone's jaywalked probably in their life, like everyone. I do it all the time. All the time. Like, ever, opportunities. Like, it's just stupid, right? And I get it. It's illegal. Coming into a country when you're not allowed to be there, it's far different than jaywalking. So again, we got a bunch of stupid kids that don't know shit. They're uneducated or educated in some liberal arts nonsense. And stupid. At least she doesn't have the lame ass the cow ring in the nose. What do they call that one? The big ring. It's so stupid. Anyway, these guys are retarded. FBI investigators, far left NGOs for funding pro-illegal immigrants riots. They're digging into the money. There's a lot of different organizations that we're finding out about. They are launching a probe, as they say. They're working with the IRS. There's a lot that's coming from this, and it will come quickly. It will come quickly. That I will actually assure. Rioters attacked Seattle police with rocks and fireworks during pro-illegal immigration down there, so it's, of course, already happened in Seattle. San Francisco's had some weirdness, and Portland seems like they've been oddly quiet so far, which is strange. Maybe all those people have gone to Seattle. It's possible. Senator Alex Padilla, they're saying he lunged at Kristi Noem. I think he was trying to get up to the podium. I don't think he lunged at her. I think that's a weird statement. But here is the reality of it. This dude was not invited to this press conference. He tried to barge into a press conference. He didn't acknowledge who he was until well after he was already being detained. And he was trying to barge into something to make a scene, none of which was okay. Again, free speech. If I'm doing a press conference, no. If you want to do some sort of discussion or have a talk or whatever, or you want to invite me to your press conference, that's fine. But to come barging into somebody's press conference thinking that it's free speech, no, it's not free speech. I'm here delivering a message on behalf of my department for the government. I'm not here on some sort of open invite everybody. This is one of the things a lot of people, like even in chat, like some people we've barred a few people from having comments anymore, right? And a lot of people are like, "Ooh, is it free speech?" No, you're not allowed to walk into someone's home and make a mess. Like, you want to stand out in front of somebody's home and make noise, fine. But if you're trying to ruin an event from the inside or trying to ruin an event, that's not free speech anymore. That's you just trying to ruin something. And no, you don't have a right to ruin whatever you want to ruin. So that's, a lot of people out there have that thinking. Most of us appreciate other people's opinions. Yeah, I may not agree with you, but okay, cool. It's your house. You know, I'm not going to come into your house and say your food's nasty or something. That's not cool. That's pretty effed up. House Dems demand testimony from Nome after the Padilla handcuff incident. She didn't even have anything to do with it. It was her security. So again, this is the House Dems are just stupid. And they're going to try to grandstand anything they can, obviously. 4 migrants are unaccounted for. There was a riot that broke out at the New Jersey ICE detention facility. 4 individuals got out. There was a pretty big deal going on over there. Let me see if, I don't know if this is the correct video or not. We'll see. I think this gets into it. We'll see if we can. There we go.
Struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program.
No, that's not what that's about. So yeah, they, a bunch of detainees. Riot broke out. They pushed through a wall or something. Some crazy thing. Managed to get out with ropes made from blankets. Then all sorts of chaos ensued. Of course, people are going to protest. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's just more of the same stupid stuff. House of Representatives has passed the first round of the spending cuts proposed by the Department of Government Efficiency. I'm not sure if I said this yesterday or not, but 214 to 212, very close vote. Very close vote, for that matter. 4 nays. I don't want to find out who those nays are. We haven't gotten there yet. I don't know if anyone's calling them out yet. I hadn't seen it yet. I just didn't have time to go digging for it. But 4 nays. I'm guessing Massey and a couple other bastards on there, so whatever. And then 2 no votes, 4 no votes from the Dems. Dems are 100% united. Obviously, our side's not. But we still passed it, barely. Good enough, though. Good enough. Close only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear weapons, right? Well, and I guess votes, too. Smartmatic accused of deleting evidence in a $2.7 billion lawsuit, defamation lawsuit that they're involved with Fox News, found out that apparently their executives, including CEO Antonio Mujica, they're calling it spoliation of records related to the high-stakes lawsuit. They apparently deleted some stuff on one of their WhatsApp, their mobile discussions between each other, and they went in and deleted that stuff because they didn't want anyone to see it for the lawsuit. It is funny how the deep state keeps doing that kind of stuff. They just delete evidence and then never get in trouble for it. So be curious if Smartmatic's able to pull that off. I don't think so. This might be one of the first dominoes to kind of fall when it comes to that, which, by the way, would bode well for my good friend Mike Lindell. I call him my good friend, like it's not like we hang out or anything. I don't know if I can handle it. Frankly, you guys have got a lot of energy. But yeah, so we got a big deal going on with the Smartmatic case, and it looks like Smartmatic, especially the people that were willing to go to a jury trial, have a chance of breaking them. And if that happens, the electronic voting systems are definitely going to be done. If it happens. Might have some more difficulty to go. We'll see. America First Legal is suing Maricopa County for obstructing election administration and threatening election integrity in Arizona. They filed lawsuits against the Arizona Board of Supervisors on behalf of Maricopa County Recorder Justin Heap for obstructing and interfering with election administration in the county. The lawsuit alleges that the board is illegally attempting to seize control of statutorily delegated election operations by refusing to provide Recorder Heap with the resources necessary to fulfill his statutory duties to administer elections. Under Arizona law, the board is required to fund the necessary expenses of the recorder's office. However, the board recently passed a tentative budget that permanently transfers the recorder's key statutory duties to the board and underfunds his office, denying him the resources needed to fulfill his statutory duties. That's very illegal. Very illegal. So this case almost assuredly is going to backfire. The board's going to lose control of Maricopa County. Maricopa County will have an honest election in the next election, and that will destroy the board. That will destroy a lot of things. And it's called a good start. That's what that is. Dow is kind of having a bad day today. Obviously, Iran happening. That's caused the price of oil to go up. So oil's sitting 72 now. So instantly gas prices will go up because they always instantly go up and then they come down slowly. It's always funny as hell how that works. But yeah, Dow is down, 1.72, almost 1% on the other two indices. And yeah, they started down. Futures were low. I mean, it was right out of the gate. Look, they tried to do a little buyback midday, but that's kind of failed. And maybe that was on the hope that, Iran was going to talk to us, but that ain't going to happen. Folks, this system, like, again, I've been saying, just takes one small little event, and we still got China. Folks, I don't know. There's too much emotion involved in the stock market. So if you're in a 401k or an IRA, I highly recommend diversifying into precious metals or getting the hell out into precious metals. Now, Goldco is going to recommend you don't do more than 50%. That's excellent advice. They're good at that, and they're going to give you the best advice. I just don't trust the system personally. That's me. Right? I got out of the 401k system a while ago, and it's a bunch of nonsense. And precious metals is definitely something that I believe in. I don't talk too much about what I have and where it is and all that kind of nonsense, but you got to do what you got to do during these times. And silver is definitely one of the undervalued things. They're going to give you up to 10% free silver based off the face value or whatever the amount is that you're actually moving. Up to 10% free silver just for coming to Goldco. Silver is an interesting thing. It's kind of undervalued. There's a lot of valuation that the paper contracts are screwing with silver. And many people feel like the difference between gold and silver is extraordinary. It should not be nearly as big as it is. It should be much, much, much smaller by like a factor of 10 at least. Silver's got a lot baked into it. Silver is what all of you, if you got a few bucks, try to pick up some silver. Silver is definitely something you want to own more of. I'm hearing people like Wano Saban even talking about it too. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com for data points, even if you want to buy some precious metals. Goldco can help you do that. I've actually done that before. They're great people, great times, and again, great customer service. Best customer service I've ever had. There's very few companies that really take it serious. These guys do. They're all about trying to help you get through this. They're going to do it tax-free, penalty-free. They're going to actually move you into physical metals. So they move your money out of your 401k IRA into basically like a holding tank. Then they buy precious metals with those funds. They receive those precious metals. They then put them into a trust, and bam, you're done. You have a 401k, you have an IRA, precious metals IRA. And if at some point you decide you want to cash that out as precious metals, that's your precious metals. They're physically your precious metals, and certainly ask them that. You'd have to pay his fees. It'd be like the same thing as, withdrawing all your funds from a 401k. It'll be, or an IRA, you'll have to pay taxes on it. But again, it's physical metals. It's yours. It's something to think about. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of that system before they get out of you. And they will. Boeing CEO cancels the Paris Air Show because of this whole Air India flight that happened with the 787 Dreamliner. Interestingly, what we see now is it's starting to very much look like pilot error, which is probably going to be helpful for Boeing in the big picture, and that will be nice for Boeing. Now, some of what they saw, and this is, I didn't even know about this thing, by the way. This thing's called a RAT. It's a ram air turbine. It's a hydraulic emergency pump. This thing only pops out if you got a severe problem. That's what people are seeing on the pictures, right? They see that this thing's still sitting out. There it is right here. And there's an actual video we've got. So you can tell they don't have enough power. And that's one of the possible issues. And the noise that everyone hears kind of reminds them of... So what the RAT is basically is it's like a little propeller. It's exactly what it is, frankly. So it's a little mini propeller. This is an emergency generator for power and pressure for hydraulics. And if you lose either of those, is when the rat will deploy automatically. So if both engines have failed, if all 3 hydraulic system pressures are low, if there's a loss of all electrical power to captain and first officer's flight instruments, loss of all 4 EMPs and faults in the flight control systems occur on approach, loss of all 4 EMPs and an engine fails on takeoff or landing. The rat can be deployed manually if necessary by pushing the ram air turbine switch on the hydraulic panel. So there seems to be, this thing seems to have popped out on this particular flight. This is bringing about a lot of questions. And I thought we had a video showing it. It might have been one of the ones we had here. You can see... Yeah, there's a picture that I had. I don't know where I got it. Is it in here maybe? Yeah, it might be in here. Yeah, here it is. This is another interesting take. Because what some people are speculating, and there's an image we have where you can kind of see, it looks like the pilot possibly, for whatever reason, might have kicked the flaps closed or off or to 0 rather than pulling the gear and pulling the gear up, because gear is big drag, big time, and you want to get that inside the airplane. That's going to help with your speed tremendously. The gear slows you down a bunch. The flaps do too, but the flaps also help you have enhanced lift. If you cut those while you're trying to take off, this could have happened. Now, they might not have had enough power. Again, that rat was out, which has got, there's some concerns about that too, but yeah, check this out. All right, yeah, there's no noise, I guess. Now, this you can't quite make out whether or not... Yeah, there seems to be a thing that maybe happened with one of the engines right at takeoff. There was one point where it looked like it was putting out some funk smoke. That could have been what popped the rat. I don't know if we can actually see from any of the angles, but it doesn't seem like anything's on fire. Gear stays out. Plane's losing power. It's just not going to make it. I mean, it reminds me actually of the air show I went to one time where I watched an F-18 crash because he did something similar to that, and you just watched the plane come down without enough power. He had full afterburner, but he stalled way too much. So horrific. You got this picture here, though. Oh, I thought that would take me to the... Maybe that's not the image I want. One of these has the image. This one here. Yeah. This picture here, this first one. When you look at this image, I don't know, it looks like maybe the front slats are down. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, you got a little bit of flap here. There seems to be a little bit of flap. And I don't know if they're having issues with the gear, trying to get the gear back in, because it seems at a funk angle too. I don't know. The rat obviously popped out. And again, what this... I don't know. We'll find out what they actually blame this on. I mean, I hope from the standpoint of Boeing that it's not actually Boeing's fault. And by the way, this is what it looks like when a plane hits a building. This is just a concrete building, not reinforced steel with rebar and multiple rings like the Pentagon. And you notice the wings all busted, right? Yeah. Yeah, these things don't react well to hard surfaces at all. Bits and pieces of wing and other stuff all over the place. That's what a plane crash looks like, by the way. 9/11 was not a plane crash. Senators are going to propose a ban on big pharma ads on TV networks. We talked about this. I just want this to kind of stay front burner. I think this is amazing. They're saying that 13% of all ad spending is for the pharmaceuticals. I want to say that I think they said 25%-ish, 24.4% of all advertising minutes on every evening news broadcast is what they're saying. I actually think that number's higher, and I think Kennedy's number was closer to 75% or 73% or something along those lines. I think that's actually a lot closer. When you actually watch the programs, you do see that there is a lot of pharmaceutical on there, and it also controls what they will and can't talk about. So that's also kind of important to keep in mind. Hopefully they get rid of it, though. I'd love to see that happen. South Carolina Republican Rep R.J. May apparently has distributed hundreds of child porn files under a username Joe Biden NN69. House of Representatives, Republican. Supposedly, he was arrested in his Lexington County home. They took all of his machines, his computers. This dude's actually guilty. I hope they throw the book at him, but again, just because he's got an R next to his name doesn't mean shit. Keep that in mind as well. Russia relocates its strategic bombers to protect it from any more future Ukraine swarms. They, each one of these TU, which one of these? Is this the 22? Which was? I forget which one this is. They're saying the one in the picture here is worth about $500 million. I want to say that's the TU-22. I think the 95 is that one that's got the dual props. But this is their supersonic. It's kind of like our B-1 bomber, basically. It's probably what they stole. Exactly stole the information from Lockheed or Rockwell or whatever. I think that's who actually made them initially, the B-1B. All said, yeah, they moved those. They don't want to have them attacked. They're worth $500 million. A lot of money. Lot of money. And then I believe the A-50 they say is worth about $1 billion. That's their AWACS. And yeah, that thing's stupid expensive. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, TU-160. Sorry, that's what this was. TU-160. For all you guys that already sent the email, come on, give me a chance. Give me a chance, folks. Give me a chance. I can change. Putin reminds the West that Russia has the world's most advanced nuclear weapons. Man. He's like, I don't care what golden dome you put in there, man. We got really good stuff to blow you up. And I mean, from the deterrent, too, I mean, they'd possibly be able to launch something off the coast. I would assume the golden dome would still protect us from stuff like that, but hypersonic and everything else, Russia's got a very capable nuclear force and weapon or missile technology. Their missile technology is, I wouldn't say it's above ours, but it's definitely it's its own class of stuff. But that S-500, S-400 systems, those systems are very capable. I mean, our THAAD and Patriot systems are, I think, pretty impressive, but they've got better range. They're just way more battle tested. They work really well. Here, my girl Tiffany, she's doing a show for us. Chinese fighter jets have come really close to Japanese planes, and it's pissing off Japan. China's obviously playing around. They've got their carrier that they've been out there playing with and teaching pilots how to land on it and shit, which I think is really all they're doing right now is just trying to do a show of force and show that they can take off from the carrier and use the carrier, finally.
Beijing is stepping up provocations in the Indo-Pacific. A Chinese fighter jet came dangerously close, just 150 feet from a Japanese patrol plane over the weekend. The U.S. ambassador to Tokyo condemned the maneuver, calling it dangerous and reckless. Japanese officials said Thursday that Chinese fighter jets have been tailing their patrol planes in a series of tense encounters over waters near Japan. On Saturday, a Chinese J-15 fighter jet followed a Japanese patrol aircraft for about 40 minutes, at one point closing in to just 150 feet. The following day, another Chinese J-15 shadowed a Japanese patrol plane for over an hour, this time keeping a distance of about half a mile. Japan's defense ministry says these aggressive moves could easily lead to an accidental collision and is calling on China to halt such actions. Officials say the Chinese jets took off from the Shandong aircraft carrier. No damage was reported, but the close calls are fueling growing concerns about stability in the Indo-Pacific. Besides rising tensions in the skies, Japan is also keeping a close eye on increased Chinese naval activity in the region. This week, Japan spotted 2 Chinese aircraft carriers nearby. Both were actively launching and landing fighter jets. This marks China's first deployment of multiple carriers together in the Pacific. It's also the first time one has reached the second island chain, bringing China closer to the U.S. territory of Guam. The carriers were spotted near Japan's region, with the Liaoning carrier seen sailing inside Japan's exclusive economic zone. It's an area off Japan's coast where it controls resources like fishing, though it's not part of its sovereign territory. In response, Japanese officials said Thursday they will continue communicating with China about the incidents while increasing surveillance to protect their territory. China currently operates 3 aircraft carriers, with its third still undergoing testing. Additionally, a 4th nuclear-powered carrier is currently under construction.
Not sure if you guys caught the part where that other one, the Cheongdong or whatever the shit's called, was 17. It's interesting. 17 was the number they chose. Just saying. Just saying. Court in Taiwan sentenced the Chinese ship captain to 3 years. This guy that screwed up one of the cables underneath. And so because of that, caused some problems for Taiwan. They somehow were able to arrest the dude. And the guy's going to be going to jail in Taiwan because he was trying to help China, basically. Polish member of European Parliament destroys the LGBT exhibition, gets banned from Polish Parliament building. Prominent right-wing Polish MEP, Grzegorz Braun. He destroyed a pro-LGBT thing. Of course, people got pissed about that. I don't know, kind of funny. I mean, that doesn't seem all that destructive. I don't feel like he did a very good job. Come on, break it or something, but there. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. He's snapping it. Okay. Let's put some tape up and fix that, dude. Come on. Get serious. It's just styrofoam, huh? Love it. That's legit. All right, that's breakage. Oh, no. Put him in jail for life. Actually, they probably will in Europe. Watch out. This is it. I just feel so vindicated. I knew I was right. I mean, it wasn't like, doesn't take like a genius to see this one. This was easy, right? WNBA TV ratings have plunged since Caitlin Clark sidelined with her injury. Again, everybody loved the drama. Loved watching everybody all the black people trying to beat up on her. Seriously, it brought a bunch of people to the game. Since she's been injured, nobody gives a damn. That's just funny about the WNBA. You guys are bastards. I want to remind you guys that there are a couple ways you can do, if you want to wear merch, you want to be a part of the DRS fan club, if you will. But yeah, we've got the hats, obviously one of my favorites. Love the shirts. And then there's a bunch of other wonderful stuff that the creator likes to put out. She likes to create these products out there, free thinker. And so she's got some beautiful stuff. So the stuff for the channel, very, very cool. The Great Awakening, get ready for it. And on the back, it's got the digital flag and something like Dan Radio Styles, the news, what does it say? So something cool on the back. Yeah, it is. Dan Radio Styles on the Fringe and OTF. Boom. Good stuff, right? Love that. Love it. And so you can do that. Again, the hat, super cool. Love it. And also, we've got, there's 3 special type shirts. There's one for 9/11. There is one for the 6/11 Ephesians, the day that Trump was shot in the ear. The timing of all that and the Ephesians, fight. A lot of information on the back of this guy. But again, putting on your full armor of God, which, as I frequently say, you should just keep on all the time. There is really no reason to ever take it off. And then 5G warfare. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff when it comes to that. So 5G warfare, and we've got the 5 different versions on the back of there. First generation, battles fought with massed manpower, uniformed soldiers governed by state. And 5th generation way down here, you are here. And this is basically the information war. So always fun to try to get people a little informed while you're standing in line. And of course, the other one we have is Dan. I'd rather see if I can find it. There it is. I always forget Bonfire. I just think this lady was kind enough to do this for me. So it's bonfire.com/Dan-I'd-rather160. She's got a bunch of different ways that they do this. And so this was just cool. This was just someone that drew a picture and put it on a shirt. And so I've tried to plug it. I bought a bunch of them myself. I'm sure I'm probably at least half of that 38. But this one's fun. And then on the back, it says Dan is the news now or something to that effect. There it is. There's the back. Dan is the news now on the Fringe. It's simple. It's sweet. I like it. I don't know. There's something just kind of simple to it. And the hat, I love wearing it when I'm at the gym because people trip on it all the time. They're like, is that you? And I'm like, yeah, we gave it away. The fact that it looks like me or the fact that it looks like me. Maybe if I point at you at the same time. All said. Love it. So yeah, go to bonfire.com/Dan-I'd-rather160. There's also a link in the description of any of the videos if you're interested in those things. We're going to keep fighting the fight. I've got some fun music today. I don't know. I'm kind of like promoting it in a weird way, though. I feel like it's a tough one to kind of sell just because I'm kind of all over the place, but really kind of love songs-esque. really kind of around the time of Ghost, or no, Dirty Dancing, Footloose, and Top Gun. So we got some songs from all those movies that are just cool songs. It's totally just a bunch of good. The dude's name that did Top Gun, drawing a blank on his name, and I'm featuring him all over the damn place. Got it over here because I am just losing my mind. Yeah, Footloose and Everything Under the Sun. Good God, dude, really, Dan? You were a pile of trash. Anyway, whatever. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this dude's name. That's so funny. I did that earlier today too. I'm like, why can't I remember his stupid name? Kenny Loggins. There it is. Holy shiz. Anyway, I got a bunch of Kenny Loggins songs. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. And then other songs that are kind of appropriate for the genre. Again, it should just be good times. But yeah, the thumbnail doesn't really do it justice. And I don't know if there was a way I could. Can't even remember his name for that matter. All said, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this somehow. But that show's kicking off in just about 3 hours from right now. So yeah, hopefully you guys will join us Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern. We do an hour plus of music. It's usually a good time. Very cool community. That's kind of one of the funner parts is you're just coming and sort of hanging out with a bunch of these people that are chatterboxes and like to talk about all sorts of good stuff. And, you know, a lot of these people have become friends. They've started working together. They're on each other's shows. It's just been a fun little place to mix and mingle. I recommend you come and join us on the live shows. It's the only time you'll ever get to see any of that chatter. The comments versus the actual chat are two different things. Once the video's over, the chat is gone forever. It's one thing that's kind of cool about it. But the comments are forever, but that's not where everyone's chatting. So check it out if you feel like you've read the comments before and you're like, I don't know, there's nothing major there. You got to try it live. You're going to check it out and enjoy it tremendously. All said, we will be talking more about this. We've got a weekend coming up too. Got some stuff going on this Saturday that'll be fun. I'll talk about that on Sunday. But yeah, excitement all over the place. I love you guys. I'm going to keep fighting the fight shoulder to shoulder. We're going to keep pushing forward. I'm going to keep heading in this direction. Like, I know where I'm going. I'm not looking at all the stuff that we're supposed to be scared of. I care less about that. I know where we're going. Got meteors falling in the road up ahead. Be ready for it. You know? Be prepared. Stuff's going to get weirder. We're not there yet. Stay strong, though. We're prepared. Most of us should be anyways. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.